This is Levels of Geeks Podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now your host of Levels of Geeks Podcast, Alex and Friends.
Welcome everyone to this new episode. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and that is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
This is the final Terminator Dark Fate. We're in the last movie of the entire Terminator franchise. This is episode 17. I'm happy to get to this mark already, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I just think it's like we're 6 movies in, right? It was like 6. Yeah, I was kind of getting tired of the movie already. Like, I was getting tired. Okay. Yeah, I was getting fatigued, Terminator fatigued. But this is the final one, and we're going to give you guys the honest opinion on this movie. We're going to break it down like we always. But before we give you those categories, first, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button if you enjoy this video, and smashing those notification bells. So every time we go live, Monday, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, or we're doing Mandalorians on Friday, or if we're gaming over on Twitch, all you got to do is you get notified when we go live. I mean, this channel is always live on the week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we're always live, whether it's with me and Nate on Monday or me and David on Wednesday, or me, Ralph, and Jamel on Fridays with some Star Wars talking, Mandalorians only. There's a lot of content on this show. So with that, if you're listening to us on the go over at the Apple Podcasts, again, leave us some feedback, some good criticism. We'll take it. We'll review it, and then we'll enhance the show for your guys' listening pleasures for On The Go. And then we'll have some fun with that. So let's get right into this. Again, we break these movies down, these action podcasts. We break them down into 6 categories to make the movie. I think it makes it better when you watch the movies because we get to see it in a different light. Of course, we watched it the first time. We enjoyed it. But now it's time to break down some elements of the movie to see in an overall package, is this the right movie for the world to enjoy? So with that said, we got these 6 categories that me and Nate sat down and we brainstormed for hours, drinking a lot of bottles of Jack Daniels. No, I'm just joking.
Took about 3 minutes.
Took us 3 minutes, which was like a sip of Jack Daniels. It's lead actor, right? Then we got main villain. Then we got action scenes. Then we got storyline, which is the plot of the film. Then we got the overall, the entire picture. And then we could do the total points. Everything out of 25. 25 is like, of course, it's like a masterpiece. Like the best of the best. We're not saying it's the best movie ever made. We're just giving it our take. Yeah, it could be one of them.
Action. And you know what? We're 17 in. We've only had one. 25 out of 25. So it's not like we're throwing those out. So it's accurate. If you get a 25, you earned it. We've only given one so far.
Yeah, we did. So with that said, let's get right into it. This is episode 17, Terminator Dark Fate from what year? 2019?
2019, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, box office. How did this baby do?
Oh, this baby did not do so well. But overall, it actually did, though, if you really deep back into the numbers. So let's check this out. 2019 Terminator Dark Fate. Everyone's eyes, it was a big flop, but let's see if the numbers are telling the truth. So domestic was $62 million. I think out of all the movies, this is the lowest one.
I think so. I think even Genesis made more than that.
Made more than that. Yeah, they made way more than that. But then international, which me and Nate was talking about a lot. International Terminators were going up and up. This was $198 million international.
Not bad. So that's what, 250 something? Worldwide?
Yeah. Now we got a
$200 million budget.
No, but it got a worldwide total of 261 in the bank. Yeah, but guess what? The budget was 185 million. Now, technically, it's a successful movie, but it's technically not. If you really look at it, because once you start giving the people that financed the movie their cut, you might be in the red. Yeah, and then marketing, you're going to be in the red. So honestly, this could be, by numbers, analytics, it could be the worst Terminator movie that came out so far.
This probably came down to the home video. It probably came down to the Blu-ray and 4K sales.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like if when they were theatrical, let's say they broke even, which they might or might not have because they don't always release those figures. But let's say they did. At that point, they're strictly making money on home video. So depending on how well it sold, I bought this in a steelbook, and I remember when I went to get it, they ran out. So, I mean, people were buying it, at least where I live, the steelbooks and stuff. I think it sold okay at home, but I don't know.
No, I mean, I agree with you. When I purchased this also, the 4K steelbook with the main villain in the cover, which I think it's an awesome cover. I'm not going to say it's not. But again, collectors will go out and get steelbooks. There's a lot of 4K collectors out there that collect steelbooks. And I mean, rightfully so, they're going to go out and get Terminators to put it with their entire lot of Terminator 4Ks. Again, there's not many. There's only Terminator 1 and 2 and 6. But now we found out Salvation came out with a 4K, which now we got to figure out how to get that.
Well, I had Terminator. So quick fun fact before I give the Rotten Tomato score. I had Terminator Genesis in the Target exclusive steelbook, and I hated it so much after I watched it that I traded that in at the bookstore last week. I decided I didn't want to have it anymore. I still have it digitally, so I still have it on my Vudu account. So I could, if I really want to, I can still watch it. But I didn't want it on my shelf. I said, no. This doesn't belong on my shelf.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. But let's get right into those Rotten Tomato scores of Terminator Dark Fate.
So Terminator Dark Fate actually is the third highest as far as the Rotten Tomato scores at 70% from critics. It was, and I remember when it came out, most of the reviews I read were positive. So it's not surprising to me when I looked it up. I said, yeah, I remember people saying it was a solid Terminator movie. So 70%, the third best, behind obviously 1 and 2, and then just ahead of what part 3, which I think had like a 60 something. So 70%. So it was critically did well.
Yeah, I mean, look, those are Rotten Tomato scores. Those are the box office numbers. And like always, me and Nate do not know each other's scores of these films. When we sit on our tables and then we start talking about this movie, any movie that we're about to talk about. So let's get right into it. Nate always starts off this review with lead character. Take it away.
Yes. All right, lead character. So this is an interesting one because we've had a series where so far we had Sarah Connor as the lead twice. We had John Connor as a lead twice. We had Kyle Reese / Sarah Connor as the lead in Genesis, depending on how you look. And now here we get, for the first time, someone who's not any of those people. We got someone who is not a regular of the series. You know what I mean? We get what was her name? Danny. Danny was her name.
Yeah, Danny.
I almost said Rosa.
I was
Daniela.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Rosa. I don't know. She looked like a Rosa to me. Maybe
a Rosemary.
Yeah, I don't know. Danny. And she is, in my opinion, she's okay. She reminds me a lot of the Sarah Connor from the first Terminator. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Slightly, and I'll give Danny the slight edge because she was a little bit more assertive than Sarah Connor in that first movie. Remember Sarah Connor? She was just like damsel in distress. Yeah. Don't know what's going on. It just needs to be saved left and right and just kind of survives by the skin of her teeth. Danny starts that way, but as it goes on, she toughens up pretty quick. She's like, hey, we got to kill this thing. I don't want to run. I don't want to hide. It killed my dad. It killed my brother. I'm not going to do. So although most of the movie, she reminded me of the original Sarah Connor, who I gave a 3 to. I remember I gave a 3. I'm going to give her a 3.5. I think the slight edge because she becomes a little tougher, but I still don't think she's like an amazing lead compared to some of the other ones we've gotten in the series either. But she's way better than Kyle Reese from the last one. So 3.5 for me for Danny.
Yeah, in terms of Danny, I'm going to be really honest with everybody. I did not like that character. I just felt like they just they carbon copied John Connor's storyline and just put a female to it, and then they just changed it up a bit so they could reboot the entire franchise. Like they didn't put work on it. Like why her? Like out of everybody in the damn planet, why it has to be Danny? Just like John Connor, why the Connors? And this was a perfect opportunity to find out how is it chosen. And I don't want to hear this old destiny bologna sandwich because it's like, if that's the case, it could have been the guy who's selling freaking hot dogs in a hot dog stand, like the resistance leader of the future. You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be Danny? And they didn't give me that. And I couldn't be behind that. And sadly, because the whole John Connor getting killed in the first 2 minutes into the movie, like it sucks the life out of you because it's just like, why did we have to go down this road? Like, if you didn't want to go down that road, You should have not had him in the movie. So for that, it took away, for me, it took away the main character, because by that point, it's like, I don't care for her at all. She doesn't do nothing for me. This is a brand new character. So why should I care for a new person that's exactly doing the same thing that John Connor should have been doing? And you know what I mean? So it's like T2 with a female. So with that, is she tough? Absolutely, she's tough. I mean, all of a sudden she gets tough at the end, which I'm like, oh, look at this. And she's like, let's just get it over with. I'm like, oh, God, stop. But anyway, she gets tough. Yeah. In the beginning, like you said, she's soft. Like her character's soft. Like she's a typical girl, sister to her brother, and the brother's the tough one to protect her. But for me, I didn't like the character. I just felt like the character was flat in terms of trying to make it likable to the audience that is, like, you're trying to sell this movie to, and by the numbers, you could tell it fell flat because no one didn't care as much to watch this movie. So with that, I gave it a 2. I gave her a 2. Yeah, I wasn't too crazy with that main character. I know I'm gonna get killed on the comments. Like I already know it.
Probably not. I don't think anyone cares that much about Danny. I thought she was okay. So
she was all right. The main villain. So we're about to get to what's his name? Luna?
I don't remember the actor's name. I don't remember. No, it's not. I don't know, but I just know the thing is the Rev 9 is the name of the model of the Terminator. Right.
So the Rev 9. Look, I'm going to be more harsher on this because I think I've been being lenient a lot from my reviews.
Generous.
I'm very generous. So I think I gotta
agree. I remember that.
Yeah, I gotta start. I'm gonna start cranking up a little bit the difficulties on my reviews because the Rev 9 was cool. Okay, it's a cool product to sell in terms of toys and gimmicky. Because honestly, there was nothing new in that Terminator that we did not see in the last 5 movies. Can you name me something? Because I can't. Because we already got the chick in part 3 where the bad John Connor when he's on the X-ray vision and you saw him getting detached. We saw that already.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We already saw that. Then we already saw the whole extra skeleton, the silver metallic whatever in like part 2, wasn't it? She was a metallic
3.
Yeah, Rise in the Machine. There you go. So we got another, and I understand what you mean because we got that with 3, copied 2 and 1 and put it together. And then they took this one, they took all the Terminators and just slapped them together and just like, let's make it cool. And I'm like, and I didn't feel it now. Like, I don't know if it's because of the movie. Like, to me, it didn't just work as, look, granted, the special effects is amazing in this movie. I'm not going to say it's not. I don't think I'm going to knock it on that stuff. It looks amazing. But there was no new ingredient in the villains for me to drop my jaw and go, damn, this is pretty cool. Like, all right, once he, detached himself and he had the other Terminator driving, I was like, oh, that's cute. But other than that, is like, he still needs it to go into his body to continue going. Like, why couldn't he just mimic the damn thing and lose it? You know what I mean? Like, it just dissipates or something. Like, it just, poof, is gone. Like, that's more scarier because he could turn into multiple machines and he doesn't need it to go back in his body to regenerate or to get evil. So anyway, with that said, I gave him a 3 out of a 5, a flat in the middle. I thought he was a cool Rev 9, but I think they could have went more into creativity and made him into a superior Rev 9 where you have the audience just dropping the jaw. So that's just me. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get our first slight disagreement. Because wow. I actually love this Terminator. And now, granted, I am a bigger fan of the series than you in general. So, we're coming from 2 different places and we've told the audience this already. So y'all know.
Yeah.
But this Terminator, he does. So I remember when we were talking about part 3, you really liked Kristanna Loken in that. And I wasn't really feeling her. And I think this Terminator does what that one wishes it did. Okay. For one, I did like right off the bat, when he first comes in, he's the first Terminator. I mean, the T-1000 kind of did it a little bit, but he's really the first Terminator that seemed like a true infiltrator of people to get to who he was polite. Like, he knocks on the dad's door. He's like, hey, I'm here to see Daniela. You know, he's talking very normal. And the dad's like, oh, most of the friends, you know, call her Danny. And he's like, oh, yes, of course, Danny. Like, you know what? He ends up killing him. But the point is, when he goes to the office, when he talks with humans, he doesn't say, I like your car. I like your gun. Like, there, you know, there's something wrong with this chick. Like, what is she? What is she doing? And Arnold, like, this dude is mad robotic. He seems like a person. He's the first Terminator to just be a dude who can really trick people and then kill them. You know what I mean? When he gets real close. So I like that. That's number one. Number two, he looks cool as hell. I mean, the black robot underneath, it looks sick. I agree with you. The effects are incredible on him. I like that he could separate into two Terminators. Now, he's essentially a T-800 plus and a T-1000 mixed together. Yeah. But in a better way, because the TX or whatever, like, she couldn't separate into two separate beings. She just kind of had all the benefits of, like, the liquid, so she could change things and whatever. This guy can literally turn into two people and fight two at the same time. Now, I see what you're saying on, you know, the separation. Technically speaking, I would imagine if they, let's say, froze the liquid part, he would just be the metal robot. And then he'd be easier to kill. But when he is combined, he's a lot more difficult to kill because you have the liquid aspect of him and the robotic part of him. So I thought that was pretty cool. I really liked I thought the actor did a cool job. Like I said, he had slightly more personality than almost all the other, like, villain Terminators. Not counting John Connor, because John Connor was like a dude who they turned into a robot. Like, this guy was strictly a robot, but he actually because they always talk about it in this series, you know, these are designed to infiltrate people and then, like, blend in, but none of them really blended in. And this guy blends in. He's not very big in stature. You know, he's not jacked and huge. He looks like a regular dude. He fits in with the military stuff, you know, even making jokes when he's going through the metal detector. He's like, oh, this thing's going to ring because my whole body is a weapon. And the guy's like, you know, save it for the ladies. And he's like, whatever, man. Got a metal hip. You know, like, I liked it. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought he was cool as hell. He was tough. They took freaking a whole squad. Dumb Danny, not really dumb Danny, but Danny, who's more useless than everyone else. Sarah Connor, Carl, the Grace from the future. Like, they all had to try everything they had to get rid of it. And to me, that's an effective villain. So I'm going to give him a 5. I thought he was awesome.
All right. There you go. Now, action scenes. I'm not going to leave the territory we're on. I'm also going to give this a 5. This one has a good amount of spaced out action. And what I mean by that is they don't blow their load right at the beginning, giving you, like, nonstop action scenes and then, like, a huge ending of just, like, talking, or vice versa, where it's just, like, all talking and then one big set piece. They sprinkle it throughout. You know, we get some stuff we've never really seen in the franchise. We get, like, an underwater fight, which none of the other Terminators have anything pretty much underwater. You know what I mean? Like, as far as robots and stuff. We get an underwater fight. We get some air stuff when they're in the airplane. And we get the guy in the helicopter, and then they're in an airplane, and then they're jumping out the airplane, and he crashes the airplane. And that was pretty cool. Take it to the skies. I enjoy that. And it all looks really good. All the effects are very good. My only gripe with some of the effects, and this is the same thing with, so this is the guy who directed the first Deadpool. Yes, Tim Miller.
And the one thing, and I'm not going to mark off for it. Like I said, it's still a 5. But the one thing that always kind of bugged me in that movie, and a little bit in this, is sometimes, not always, but sometimes the people look a little rubbery when they're using the CGI. Like they'll do a movement or they'll land in a certain way, and even Deadpool did it, and they just look a little like spaghetti. You know what I mean? Like, they don't look like but it's minor in this. It's way less in this than it is in Deadpool, probably because this had like twice the budget of Deadpool. Yeah. But yeah, the effects look good. The action was good. Sarah Connor, she comes in with the gun at the beginning. That big, huge, like, shotgun thing was awesome. I love that. I thought it had a lot of good, well-staged, well-shot action that looks very good. And you know me, I'm a style guy. So this had a mixture of good style, well-shot, plus a lot. And when you mix those two together, for me, it's a 5.
You know, I agree with you. The entire film had great action. Whether it's the chase scenes with the cars, Whether with the drone and they're going across Mexico into the United States border. I think that's where they were going, right? To the United States border.
They're trying to come back into Texas.
Yeah. So I thought that was all pretty cool. I did like the fights at the end, and then the fights in the beginning when they're in car factory or whatever the hell it was. Those are really good scenes. The T-800 fighting it, I thought it was pretty cool. But I agree with you across the board. This had really good action spaced out because, I mean, we'll get into it in the storyline. But, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. The action was really good. So I agree with you. I'm going to give this a 5 across the board because this was really good action. It didn't look fake. It didn't look like they threw it there just to throw it there to make people happy. The only nitpick I got in the action is the flying when they're in the cargo plane. That looks so fake across the board. I was just like, But
some of the plane, especially when they like crash, it doesn't look the best compared to everything else.
Yeah.
But so I agree with that.
Yeah, like I wasn't too crazy with that sequence, but with that, I'm gonna give it a 5.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And one other thing I was gonna say too with the action, I forgot. I really like the scene where they're when they're busting or they're trying to bust her out of the detainee camp. Yeah. And this dude comes in and like all the guys jump on him and he has all like the little spikes. Like this one, it goes back to being R-rated when the last two were PG-13. And I appreciated that. The violence hits a little bit. It's just a little harder. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of that too. So wanted to add that in. Okay, you go for storyline.
Storyline. All right, look. In terms of the storyline, I wasn't too crazy with the story. I felt like the storyline, once they killed John Connor for me, it was like I was done with the movie. I was just like, oh, like, here we go. Here's a new person, so we got to get used to this. It wasn't nothing new in the storyline for me. I just felt like they were just trying to reboot this entire franchise again. So they did tweak a little bit of the original storyline, I believe. Right. So instead of making that circle that we were all talking about, like they just branched it off of it.
It's like a branch.
Yeah. So I didn't like that much. I didn't care for the storyline. I wasn't immersed into the story. I just wanted to just end the damn movie already. So with that, this is the first time in storyline I gave this a 1 in storyline.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was not into Terminator Dark Fate. And I don't know if it's because we invested ourselves 1 through 5 with John Connor and Sarah Connor. It's really hard to reboot a new franchise with a new family or a new character, because I think so many people wanted to see how this ends with John, because this whole story was about John, that just to end up killing him off, to me, that just, it really hurt the fan. Well, first of all, it hurt the movie, and the fan base was just straight pissed off and just distraught. Like they were not having it, and the numbers showed it again in the box office. So for me, I gave that a 1.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing with this franchise. There is a formula to it that definitely works for a film. And if you remember, part 1 and part 2 are essentially the same movie. They're storyline wise, they're essentially the same movie. And I gave both of those a 5. Now, 3 through 5, each one tried to do something different. And in my opinion, it only worked once because I liked Salvation. That's the only one that did something different, and I liked it. This one goes back. I agree with you. Like you're saying, it's something we already saw. Yeah, this one goes back to the formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what they do is they do change up. They just change the pieces on the board, right? You have a chessboard, and it's the same game, but they put some new pieces on. And then they brought some old pieces back. I get what you're saying. It does seem like it was more like a reboot of the franchise, but while sticking with the formula that works. That formula to me has always worked, and I think it works here. I like what they added in. I like the, like the Terminator or Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Carl. I like that because he killed John Connor, but Skynet was already destroyed, so he became just like a purposeless robot, and he kind of found a purpose. Like, I liked his storyline in this. I thought that was a cool wrinkle. That's something different that wasn't in any of the other ones. And granted, they couldn't really do that because they don't have the Genesis is the only one that had like a passing of time, and that movie sucks. So I think this movie did a better job. I like that they brought Sarah Connor back because she hadn't been in one since part 2. And Linda Hamilton is still just an absolute beast in this movie. So I like her grief of this guy, when she sees him, you're like, oh shoot, she's gonna blow this dude away. Like he killed John Connor. Like I love that moment. So I personally really like the storyline of this. I think they did everything that worked in the original 2, and then they tried to switch them up. It's not as good as the original 2, but it also, to me, it was ballsy to kill John Connor. And I'm the type who I like if you're going to reboot or kind of, you got to do something to shake it up, but don't go too far, too far into like a weird. I don't think that was a weird choice. I think it was kind of ballsy. I'm going to give it a 4. I like the storyline in this. It works, but again, it is very much like similar to, how people say like the Force Awakens is pretty much just like the first Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a retread of like a lot of the similar stuff. This is kind of like that of Terminator. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty much 1 and 2. Someone sent back to protect, someone sent back to kill, gonna become the leader of the resistance. Like there's on the base level, it's the same story, but I liked a few extra wrinkles, but not quite as much as the first 2. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
I mean, look, I understand. I understand why you would pick 4. It's crazy because I will say this: if you had me a choice and go, which one would you rather watch, Salvation over this movie? I will watch hands down Salvation 100,000 times more than Dark Fate. I just think for me, I was never going to invest on another reboot of Terminator without the John Connor. And I don't know if it's sad to say, but to me, he's a staple of the Terminators. Whether if you could have changed my gripe is if you would have changed it in a way that because they saved just Judgment Day. Right. If they did that, that means their storyline was pretty much done. Now, if you would have did it in a way that you didn't need to kill John Connor because they already did that, you could have did it in a way that someone else takes the reign because of something that happened that when they went into the factory or they did something that changed it but altered something. Right. Then I would have said, you know what? That's pretty cool because now you have John Connor and this new character that he has, like he's now the Kyle Reese to protect this person. Then I would have said, you know what? That's pretty cool. But the fact is you killed the damn guy with no explanation, a CGI character at that, not even the original dude that played him. You kill a CGI character. It looked great. But again, it's CGI, which it was just like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Then you introduce a brand new storyline, exactly the same thing as the first 2 movies. A lot of people especially this franchise, we're just getting fatigue after fatigue. At each movie, you saw numbers dropping. So this was just the icing on the cake in terms of the Terminator fans. They were like, no way. Like, you killed John Connor, we're done. Like, don't even make another one. Except for you. You liked it. You were like, yeah.
I liked it, yeah. I agreed more with the critics. I was like, yes, this is... you know what it is, too? And we watched them in order. Yeah. Like you watch Genesis and then you watch this and you're like, oh my God, what a revelation. Compared to that, it could only be better. So at the same time, I'm like, it's just so much better than that. But I understand everything you're saying. No arguments for me.
No, but I agree with you. I mean, if you tell me Genesis over Dark Fate, I'll be like, you know what? I'll take Dark Fate over Genesis. Genesis is just god awful movie. There's no trash. Way. All right, overall. So all things considered, and something we didn't touch on, I touch on a little bit. Linda Hamilton back as Sarah Connor. This goes in the overall because she's not the main character. She's almost like, I don't know, because most of them had one protector. You know what I mean? Like they sent back a Terminator to protect it's either Kyle Reese or in Terminator 2 and 3, it's a robot. You know what I mean? She was almost like an extra helper. But I like that it was a character we've already seen. And I love Linda Hamilton. I love her as Sarah Connor. She still got it. I don't care. Like, she looks older, and that's okay. She is older, and it works. She's, like, grizzled and tough, and she's not even playing games. I loved seeing her back in the franchise. I loved Arnold. I way better in this one than in the last one, that's for sure. I like he's not in it too much, which was smart. They said, hey, look, we're going to get him back. He's going to do some action scenes, and we'll add a little wrinkle to him. And I like that. He's not. He doesn't show up until like the last 40 minutes or so. Yeah, I think 45 minutes. In.
Yeah. So that's when he shows up. Perfect amount of use. The one now this is a personal gripe. I'm not a huge fan of Mackenzie Davis, the actress who plays the Grace. just in general. Like something about her, I'm not a big fan. I think she does well here though, because she has a good stature. Like she's like a taller actress. So tough ladies. They did a good job with the tough ladies. I'll be honest. We're doing female-led action movies next month. This is one of them. This is it's all women, pretty much leading the way. And I think they did a good job. I like it. CGI was great. This one doesn't hit the heights of the first two, I would say. But overall, it's on par with me for like Salvation. Personally, I think they're about as good as each other. So I'm going to give it a 4 as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Overall, this is not for me. Sure. This would have been like this is my third time watching this movie theater, 4K when I brought it, and then rewatching it. I don't think I'm going to watch this again, unless it's like something that I doubt. My wife goes, "Hey, let's watch it." But I doubt that, because she's not big on rewatching like franchises. Yeah. So, honestly, I really not too big on this. So I give this a 2. Okay. But again, Linda Hamilton was cool. But again, for me, it's not as believable, man. She is a 80-pound chick shooting a grenade launcher, which that thing will throw her back like 100 feet.
I love that part.
I mean, no, it's a cool part, but certain things is like, I understand why they did what they did to make her badass. Yeah. But again, it's just, I don't know. For me, it just didn't.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
It didn't land for some reason. Like Terminator 2, it worked because she was young and she's badass. Then she's like 80 in this one, and she's still using these big ass. And especially when the Terminator slapped her across the room, I'm like, she would have broke a hip. I was like, she would have been out for the count.
She'd been fighting Terminators the whole movie. You know what I mean? Like all through time, she never stopped. So
no, she did. Right, but you still get cracked with a. I mean, this is a what is it, like a ton of aluminum, like metal smacking you understand what I mean? You're gonna get knocked out. It's not like you're gonna get up from that. You're gonna hear ping, and you're gonna be like you're gonna be ice cold. But look, that's just a little nitpicking. But honestly, this is not for me. I did not like the way they used this attempt to reboot the franchise. I think it was just, they should have Tim Miller should have did the movie he wanted to do and not involve James Cameron, because if James Cameron wanted to do a Terminator movie, he should have just did the Terminator movie. Himself. Because honestly, it's like, I feel like, because I remember there was a lot of gripes between the two. One said one and the other one threw his opinion. It's like, you know what, James, if you really had this much to say, then you should have just took the franchise and did it your way, because you really tarnished Tim Miller he totally destroyed him and threw him under the bus on this franchise. Like, and that's what sucks about it. Like, I doubt Tim Miller said, let's kill John Connor in the first 2 minutes of the movie. I doubt that was his attempt in doing Terminator. I think that was James Cameron's idea. Like, hey, let's kill John Connor. And it totally backfired. And he's like, well, I'm not the director of the movie. Like, what are you complaining to me for? Like, so I don't know. It is what it is. Look, I gave it a 2.
Sure.
All right. Total points.
Well, I'm at 21 and a half out of 25. When I reviewed this on my podcast, when it came out, I really, really enjoyed it. I believe I gave it an 8 overall here. That's an 8 out of 10. I not much changed on second viewing. I still liked it. I think it's good. I think it is truly fits in with the franchise while trying to do something different. Unlike a couple of other entries in this franchise that kind of stick out like a sore thumb, this one doesn't for me. I enjoy it. I think it's very solid. So I had a 21 and a half out of 25.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with you. They took risk, did not land well, because I think it was just poorly thought out with the writers and whoever's vision they were trying to go with. It did hurt the franchise. I mean, to the point that I doubt they're going to make ever another Terminator. I
don't believe so either. Yeah, maybe in like 20 years they'll try rebooting it when everyone forgets about the franchise. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is not going to be touched for a long time. And if they do, Arnold Schwarzenegger will not be in the movie. It'll be a brand new Terminator, brand new story. Yeah, God forbid. But I think it's going to be after he passes. I honestly could see, like in 20 years they reboot like they just come out with a movie called The Terminator. It's just a remake of the first one. I will put money on it because the franchise as a whole made too much and lesser movies have been remade. So I believe it will happen. It will just be a while from now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree with you on that. So, I mean, look, with that said, I gave this a 2, 3, 5, 1, and 2. That's a 13 out of a 25. And again, this is not to say all be all, everybody. This is just my personal opinion. Nate is a bigger Terminator franchise person than I am. So again, I'm looking at this as a movie goer, whereas not as big of a franchise as Nate is. And again, I gave it as much as I could in terms of honest opinion. Like in terms of each movie, and I enjoyed 3.
This one is good because, see, this one and 3 gave us. So we pretty, 1 we disagreed a bit, but you still gave it a good score. 2 and Salvation we both loved, and Genesis we both hated. So this one and 3 are a good. Someone's gonna fall on one side of the fence. Yeah. On 3, they're either gonna agree with me or you, and on this one, they're gonna agree with me or you. You know what I mean? And that's the best part. You get 2 different opinions. And that's the whole fun of doing a podcast like this. You got 2 people so that you can have 2 opinions. Now, a lot of times, some movies are just great. Terminator 2. We're not going to differ because it's an amazing film. Yeah. But this one, so I like it. I like that you liked it less and you like 3 more, and I like 3 less and I like this one more. It gives people a chance to pick a side. You know what I mean? Who do you agree with? But in a nice way. You know
I mean, you said it right. I mean, look, you have within the 6 films, you got which one you trust in? Is it going to be Nate's point of view, my point of view? But you know what? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Why? Because it's your opinion. You're the moviegoer. We want to know what your guys' thoughts on Terminator Dark Freight from 2019. Of course, you guys can comment down below if you're watching this replay on YouTube. Of course, or you could DM me and Nate on Instagram at Levels of Geeks on Instagram, or Nate at Nateflix Reviews on Instagram. And be like, hey guys.
We got a keyword?
Yeah, we're gonna have the keyword. We're gonna release the final keyword. This will be the
last keyword. Someone's gonna win this. By the way, I haven't told you. Unboxing has DM'd me on every single one. So as many entries as we have, he should have them. I forgot to tell you. He DMs me every podcast episode. So I don't know who else is entered, but it's looking good for him. I know he's entered every single time.
Yeah,
I mean, Rambo.
Copies. Yeah, he's looking pretty good on that. So, look, with that said, we're going to get right into the keyword. Right after the keyword, we're going to send off everybody. So, here we go. Anyway, all right, here we go. This is the keyword for the final Rambo Sweepstakes keyword giveaway for the chance to win Rambo 1 through 5 with the extended cut version of Last Blood. So, again, guys, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good job. And there you have it, guys. That is the keyword. Good luck to everyone that's entering. And again, Nate, please send us off.
Yeah, so that wraps up our Terminator franchise watch. 6 films. We got through all of them. We gave you our take on all of them. We're going to be doing you're going to have to watch our live show, obviously, to hear our rankings. That's where we're going to do our Terminator rankings. But and then that will, of course, be also uploaded on Apple Podcasts as well, if that's how you listen to us on the go. And we're going to be moving on to a new franchise. The next franchise are we still doing the same one?
Yeah, we're going to do
Ip Man.
Yeah.
Okay, Ip Man will be our next franchise. 4 films. Just picked up the 4K set. Very excited to check them out. I've only seen the first Ip Man movie. So 3 of them will be brand new to me. So that's very exciting.
I only seen 1 and 2, never 3 and 4. So this is actually a pretty good review because honestly, Nate didn't see it 2 through 4 and I never seen it 3 through 4. So 3 and 4 are going to be first time listening, watching for you guys. But this is going to be pretty cool. And it's going to be the second 4K review for the channel.
We're going to be every week. We are going to be reviewing the film here, and then you can get our take on the 4K later in the week when the video goes up. So you're going to get 4K video, audio, disc reviews on one show, but then this show, we're going to give you the meat, the action scenes, the characters, all the good stuff. You know what we bring you every week. I need to watch a movie where someone's pissed off because these people were too nice. Hamilton's a little bit pissed off in this movie, but Danny wasn't pissed off enough for me.
No,
for
she
a main
wasn't.
character.
No, she wasn't.
I needed someone really, I want him to be just like Oh, I can't wait till we get to like John Wick. He's the most pissed off. I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Yeah.
So that'll be our next franchise, Ip Man. And then we'll see from there. Oh, and then of course we got 2 more Christmas movies coming up. Next episode, you're gonna hear us review Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a Christmas
movie,
a weird movie. Yeah, it's a comedy mystery. We'll call it. It's more like a mystery,
dark comedy.
Yeah, dark comedy. And then we have Fat Man. After that, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And then starting in January, we're going to have some female-led action movies. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. So again, guys, follow anything at Levels of Geek on Instagram, Levels of Geek, Twitter, Levels of Geek. And then our gaming channel is going to be exclusively gaming on Twitch is Levels of Geeks, where I play Cyberpunk, my MLB, Friday, no, not Friday. All the exclusives will always be on YouTube. Anything else would be over in our Twitch gaming channel. Whether it's me, Nate, and his friends and cousins, we all going to be playing on Twitch on Fridays. We're planning all that out, but we're going to have a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of content throughout the show. Again, please follow Nate on Instagram, Nate Flicks Reviews, and also his awesome podcast with him and his friends. They sit down and they talk about movies or any type of other movies that they see throughout the week. Again, that is over on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anything you listen your podcast in. That is Nate Flicks Movie Reviews over on those platforms. So please check it out. And again, anything on Level the Geeks, YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, smashing those bell buttons, because there's gonna be tons of content coming out throughout the week. And January is gonna be even more content throughout the week. Again, guys, I'm your host Alex Figueroa, and that is
Nate from Nate Flicks Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.